After the game, Brock Purdy talked about the team needing to find its identity. Fred Warner also talked about it. And Kittle, let's go one by one. What is the identity of the defense? What did it used to be, and what is it now?
It used to be a run stopping defense. Yeah, nobody could run against the 49ers when they played the 49ers. That was their identity, and they would hit you hard. Dre Greenlaw was an intimidator, and they don't have either one of those things anymore. They don't stop the run, and they don't have any intimidation factor anymore. So that's what it was, and what it is right now.
Is add to that real quick too. To me, what they had in 2019 always was a great D-line, dominant. I mean, they had Buckner and Armstead. Then they drafted Bosa and traded for D Ford because they said they wanted to close games. They wanted to finish games, and they wanted to be able to do it with a dominant four-man pass rush. All four guys were guys who you could argue demanded double teams. They don't have that anymore at all. They have a defense that it's hard to say what they do well. They're not awful, but they're not really excellent at anything, at any position group, at any particular thing.
Yeah, they don't have one position group that's sewed up, right? When they had Warner and Greenlaw, your linebackers are sewed up. You're solid. You know, when they had, back in the day, Bosa, Buckner, Armstead, like you knew that D-line was what it was going to do. Now you came into this and you thought, Ward and Demo, they might be the best position group, the corners on this team. They might be still the best position group, even though Ward hasn't had his best season so far, according to him. Then they got Huff, who's coming back off this injury, doesn't quite look as like himself. Then he's injured again. Then you got this young Malik. I like Malik. I think he might be one of the best safeties on this team, honestly. I haven't been completely impressed with Jair. I'm a little disappointed from Jair. So what you're seeing is a lot of holes, is my point. You're not seeing this solid throughout defense, and you're constantly switching defensive coordinators. You're switching up your style with Wilkes, then you're going back to your old style with Sorensen, and you got defensive players speaking out on it. It's messy. This is what happens when you lose. It gets messy.
Yeah. It used to be a bully of a defense, just so tough in the front seven against the run with the pass rush, and now it's looking like a pretty soft defense. That's the identity of this defense. To me, it's soft. All right, offense. The identity always was run first, play action second, play action passes that look like runs, hard to decipher, wide open guys, not a lot of drop back passing, and not a lot of off script stuff. Now they lose interest in running the ball when they're up. They don't really do play action very much anymore, and every other play is Brock Purdy just ad-libbing. What are you seeing from the offense's identity?
I mean, you just said it. It doesn't have one. It doesn't have one. Who are they? I think they want to be something they're not. They weren't built for that. You built this entire team. Like, you've laid out your philosophy for why you draft the offensive line that you draft, because you want to run the ball, and that's, a specific kind of offensive line so you can run the outside zone. That's why you drafted offensive line. You drafted yak guys for that reason. You got Deebo Samuel, so you can short, quick passes, give them the ball and let them run. Right? All these players and the way you built this team were for one identity, and then you abandoned the identity this year and try to spin it the other way around. So you have no identity.
Wasn't Tom Brady talking about this on the broadcast? Like, where are the play action passes? I think of this as a play action passing team. Where is it?
Yeah, everybody does.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about. I asked Kyle Shanahan about this a couple of weeks ago. I said, "You're calling play action much less frequently than in the past. Why is that?" And he basically said, "Well, we're not getting the looks we like to throw play action against." So it seems to me that you could argue whether or not they should be calling it more, but from the play caller's perspective, he's not comfortable calling it. He's not getting the looks he wants. And so if that's all it takes to shut down the play action pass, give him a look, then Kyle needs to adjust. And so far the adjustment right now is Purdy, just make a play, be a hero. That's not scheme. That's 100% Purdy, and it's not an efficient way of playing offense. And he's going to get hurt if he keeps doing that.
And if you want to run play action, you have to run. You have to run the ball for play action to be effective. You can't just come out and run play action if you're not running the ball. So the discipline and the fortitude, the identity of running the ball, regardless, bring your 8-man fronts. We don't care. We're going to run the ball down your throat. That has to be identity if you want to have a good play action game. And they just gave up on it for whatever reason. Why? Because CMC's out. Jordan Mason can run the ball just as good as CMC. He's not as good as CMC, maybe on the big breakaway plays or in the passing game, but running the ball, I mean, he is showing you he's a second leading rusher in the NFL. They have to stick with the run. They need to bring in another running back too. Because Isaac Grindos runs straight up and down. I don't think he's a good RB2. They need a deeper running back room right now, and they need to just run the ball, play action, and that's where we get our plays. And then in the passing game, it's a quick passing game. You don't have the offensive line to do this stuff. You can't ask Brock Purdy to be somebody he's not. They have to get back to what they were there to that. That's what Kyle Shanahan should be doing this week, Grant. He should be saying we need to get back to our identity and get back to it.
Sure. And maybe they will. Maybe they'll figure out how to win games again and they'll go on a run. Or maybe this is the Niners' identity. They're a mediocre team. They are old. They're not as good as they think they are. They make mistakes. They make excuses after losses, like Diamondor Lenore says the other team got lucky. It's like the second time he said that after a game. They want to be famous. They're a team with a lot of podcasts and side projects, and it's just not a team full of like football players anymore. I mean, Brock's a football player. Jordan Mason's a football player. Juwan Jennings a football player, but it's like so many other players are like more than that. I don't know. What is that their identity now?
No, you need the young, hungry teams. You need the teams that want it. And you have these guys that have just been through it and back and failed over and over again at the highest level. And to expect them to be those same young, hungry dudes when they're paid and they've already been through so many postseasons and reached failure at the end, I think it's just honestly, they need some kind of restart, refresh. Maybe it's the players, maybe it's the coaches, maybe it's both. But if they don't get on track here soon, if you think that you're hearing a lot of players throwing coaches under the bus, coaches throwing players on the bus, if they don't win in Seattle, it's just going to get worse. And then they got the Chiefs and the Cowboys. It's rough. They got a tough schedule ahead of them. Like a lot of the teams they played already are pretty easy compared to what they have coming down the road. They have to figure this out right now. Kyle needs to take control of this team and be a leader and get back to your freaking identity, what you've built this team to be. And you're abandoning it. It's horrible.
Are the 49ers a tough team?
Yeah,
the 2024 49ers.
You don't think of them that way anymore. No, you don't think of them that way anymore.
They can't stop the run. Are they a resilient team?
Obviously not.
I mean, they have very basic things they need to answer about themselves before they figure. And they haven't even figured out how to get in the end zone when they're 6 yards away. But they're not even at that level yet. They're trying to find basic toughness.